Good afternoon. Welcome to this afternoon's edition of the Richard Urban Show. I'm your host, Richard Urban, coming to you from historic Harpers Ferry, West Virginia. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Today is part 3 of the series on the transgender issue and movement. Today's title is The Solution to the Transgender Issue. So I'd like to get started with a brief presentation. The Urban Life Training Program does provide a solution that's practical and implementable for the transgender movement and issue. Let's review these slides. The mission of Urban Life Training is to raise youth leaders to develop good character and to model and teach about the benefits of sexual abstinence in preparation for marriage and successful family formation. We provide directive abstinence-centered health education through our community network of trained parents and community leaders. Urban Life Training chapters carry out the Urban Life Training mission in their local areas. Vision. Every youth from middle school through high school will receive education about the benefits of abstinence and will have the opportunity to hear from peers who believe in abstinence. Accountability and peer mentoring relationships will be set up between older youth or adults of the same sex who believe in abstinence. Middle school youth will be STAR, that is, Students Teaching Abstinence and Responsibility Guides for upper elementary. High school youth will be STAR Guide Mentors for middle school youth. College youth will be STAR Guide Mentors for high school youth. This will greatly reduce the rate of HIV, STDs, out-of-wedlock births, and heartbreak. Resolution for adoption of character and abstinence-based sexual health education. Whereas parents are the primary teacher of their children, and whereas virtually all parents want their children to abstain from sexual activity while of school age, and being that the purpose of sexual health education is to help youth succeed in life, and whereas premature sexual activity is correlated with increased use of alcohol and drugs, poor academic performance, emotional stress, increased risk of suicide, infection with sexually transmitted diseases, and unwanted pregnancy, be it hereby resolved by Jefferson County Board of Education that the primary purpose of all sexual education curricula in Jefferson County will be to teach the benefits of abstaining from all types of sexual activity and physical sexual contact while of school age. Marriage will be presented as an attainable goal in the appropriate and morally acceptable place for sexual activity when we become legal adults, and also as the most beneficial arrangement for the children that may be born to married parents. Since a discussion of same-sex attraction and gender identity is not conducive to these goals, and same-sex attraction cannot be confirmed without physical sexual contact, these topics will not be included in the sexual education curriculum. Further, the prevention of child abuse through affirming each child's agency is an important goal of sexual health education. Therefore, young children will be taught that no one should touch them and they are covered by their bathing suit. Older children will be taught that no one should touch their sexual organs or other body parts in any way inappropriately. And that's a proposed resolution that can be used in any jurisdiction. Premise. To break the generational cycle of outside of wedlock birth, we need a revolution of abstinence-centered education. Parents should present the expectation of sexual abstinence before marriage to their children, regardless of whether or not they abstain themselves. They should think about what is best for their children's future and speak honestly about their own situation. School and community-based programs, such as Urban Life Training, can back up parents in making this revolution. In one generation, this can break the cycle of outside of wedlock births and all of the related personal and societal consequences. About Urban Life Training. It's a decentralized model. All programs are implemented by local chapters of Urban Life Training. Parental involvement is encouraged. The 3 parts of the Urban Life Training program: classroom relationship intelligence education, peer counseling, and STAR, that is Students Teaching Abstinence Responsibility Leadership Clubs. So this concludes our brief presentation. As you can see, this is a proactive solution to the transgender issue and really the whole issue of the homosexuality and all other kinds of, gender identity issues, or what's called gender identity. Anyway, let's just call it sexual confusion of especially the younger generation. So as we've been saying, this is caused by indoctrination of youth, by grooming on social media, by children spending a lot of time with people telling them, oh, you're different genders, by even teachers or school books at young ages promoting that children can decide their own gender. So what's the solution? First of all, we shouldn't have any of those kind of books in the school libraries. So we need to be aware of what's in the schools. If possible, homeschool your children or send them to private school. Here in West Virginia, we now have the Hope Scholarship. So you can enroll your child in, like, for instance, you're entering kindergarten child now, and subsequently in this year and in future years, as they progress through school, they can continue, in private education, and you can receive the state subsidy for that, private education. Or you can homeschool, and certain expenses like, if you have a teacher that you hire, that can be covered. If your children do go to the public school or even private school, be aware and proactive. Teach the urban life training curriculum in your school. You can become a chapter of urban life training, and also that you'll get all our materials that are on our membership, or you can become a member and gain access to the materials, and you can teach them at your local school. Let's get active. Approach the principal. Show them the materials, sample materials. See if they'd like to have the materials in their school. That's what I've done, for many, many years. Like in DC Public Schools, we worked with about 3,000 youth and 200 youth in clubs. So you can approach your local school and be a provider, a third party provider of these curricula. Also, you can encourage, ask, and work for your local Board of Education. And I'm working on that here. We'll be working on that with other parents and neighbors in Jefferson County, West Virginia, to get the Board of Education to adopt a resolution that, the absence-centered curricula will be taught. Now, that doesn't guarantee they will be, but if someone is proactively providing that, and that's a policy of the school board, that'll be a step in the right direction. Also, if that is proactively being taught, that means the school board should not and will not be allowed to, and you as a parent have to monitor that, use so-called comprehensive sex education curricula that primarily do not promote things other than sexual abstinence, like sexual exploration, like saying that all kinds of sexual relationships are normal. So those kind of things we have to be aware of what's being taught in our schools and be proactive and aware of what's going on. So those are some very practical action steps. The solution is us. We get up off the chair, we get down to the school board, and I'm talking to myself too, and we get this adopted, and we get the Board of Education members, if they're so hip on not adopting such a resolution, explaining what's wrong with it and what's their curricula, what's so good about it. Like here in Jefferson County, a resolution was just adopted, an ordinance, not at the school, but on the county level. Jennifer Krause, our commissioner, did a great job, and it was adopted, saying that sexual performances that have nudity or sexual content, it's I think a felony misdemeanor. Is that the right term? Anyway, it's not legal for that to be performed for a minor children. So, and I just wrote a letter to the editor also, supporting that. A lot of people were saying, oh, we're free to do whatever we want. No, you're not. People have to be responsible. Just like people were saying, oh, this is the mountaineer state. We can, basically, that's not the mountaineer spirit. We can do whatever we want. No, you can't. Freedom without responsibility is not freedom at all. We can conceal or open carry weapons and firearms here in West Virginia. Does that mean you just pull it out and shoot it anytime you feel like it? I'd say not. It's an extremely serious responsibility to carry a firearm. And it's an equally, even more serious responsibility to properly use your sexuality. So we need to teach children about absolute sexual ethics. What are absolute sexual ethics? Absolute sexual ethics mean that you abstain from sex before marriage, meaning you absolutely keep that standard. And when you're married, you absolutely have sex only with your husband and only with your wife. That's it. That's absolute sexual ethics. That's what needs to be taught. And that's what's best for children. It's not a religious thing. It could be religious. That's fine if that's your religious belief. But whether it's your religious belief or not, that's what's best for children. And no one can refute that. Children need two parents, two married parents. As I was saying in my letter to editor, like a child living with their mother and a boyfriend is 11 times more likely to be sexually abused than a child living with both parents. Hello. So what's best for children? Is it best for children to live with a married mother and father? Yes, it is. Is it best for children to live with two moms? No. Sorry. Whatever you think, that's not statistically best. How about two dads? No, not statistically best. How about a mom and her boyfriend? No. As I just said, not at all. Even a person with their stepfather or mother is a lot more likely to have sexual abuse. Does that mean someone shouldn't remarry? No, but it'd be preferable if they don't get divorced to begin with. If they're practicing absolute sexual ethics, i.e., absolute fidelity to their husband or wife, then it's much less likely they'll get divorced. So we really need to start practicing this absolute sexual ethics. Just saying you can do whatever you want. And I saw some of the comments that were given, at the county commission. One lady saying, "Stay out of my bedroom." Nobody wants to go in your bedroom, whoever wrote that. Nobody really cares what you do in your bedroom. We're talking about public performances, not what you do in your bedroom. No, that's not what we're talking about. Not what you do in your home. In your home, that's your business. We're talking about in public. Hello. So that's what we need to do. Take a proactive stance and teach absolute sexual ethics, meaning that you absolutely abstain from sex before marriage and be faithful within marriage, which of course was the general standard until about some 50 or 60 years ago. It started sliding backwards. But is that good for children? No, it's not good for children. Is that good for parents? No, it's not good for anybody. So let's get out of this crazy state where we're saying, oh, you can do whatever you want, or how wonderful it is, to have children watch drag performances or something. No, it's not. That's not healthy for children. Well, thank you for watching. Again, happy Father's Day to the dads out there, or you'll probably be watching this after Father's Day. We hope you did have a happy Father's Day. And we thank you for watching. Do be blessed. Do share this. And this has been a 3-part series on the transgender issue. If you didn't hear it, please go back and go back to the last episode about Dr. John Money and transgender fraud. And then there was a first episode which took a viewpoint or explained a viewpoint about the spiritual issues behind the whole transgender and homosexual movements. Thank you again, and do be blessed. This is Rich Urban coming to you from Restored Carpets Ferry, and we'll see you next time.